The Fallout series certainly has no shortage of weapons to choose from. It's very hard to find a weapon that you don't like. From traditional weapons that are very similar to ones we have in real life, to far-flung weapons that literally launch nukes like a catapult, there's more than likely something out there that every Wastelander can get their hands on. However, if there is one best example of the kind of weapon that the craziness of the Fallout franchise can create, that's the laser weapons. From the smallest of laser sidearms to the largest of automatic Gatling lasers, there's certainly a laser weapon for every single situation, as long as you have the right perks and enough ammunition. But what are laser weapons? How do they operate? And what's their history? Well, let's dig into that. Now, before we get too far, let's get our sources straight. While laser weapons have been a staple of the Fallout franchise ever since the first game, I'll just be covering the ones found in Fallout 4 and 76 primarily, as those are the newer and most modern versions. Don't worry though, I will be bringing up the Fallout 3 and New Vegas laser weapons as well, because while they might be different, they are technically the same weapon across the board. Starting with some of the history, it started long before the bombs dropped. The laser rifle was a fairly uncommon but still regular sight in the United States military before the Great War. Specifically, the Watts 2000 laser rifle and the iconic AER-9 were extremely useful for their power and fire rate without needing to carry several pounds of ammunition. In fact, they were even testing newer versions, known as the AER-12 and AER-14, to eventually replace them, but that didn't happen because, well,
Here comes the sun.
yeah, that. After the bombs dropped, laser weapons became rather scarce in the Wasteland, with only a few factions using them in bulk, such as the Brotherhood of Steel. But let's break these boxy weapons down. What exactly do they fire? In short, a concentrated, highly effective beam of superheated light designed to burn rather than puncture. So instead of penetrating the target like a traditional bullet, it actually burns the target, basically melting it down. In some cases, these shots are so powerful, they straight up disintegrate the target, which, strangely enough, does not actually include their clothes, weapons, gear, or supplies they had on them at the point of disintegration. This also means that the gun virtually has zero recoil, as you're pretty much just shooting a giant laser pointer. This also makes the laser very accurate if shot correctly, so if you don't hit your targets, you might want to check your perception stat. As for what kind of ammunition these guns take, there are two very common forms of powering laser weapons, either via small energy cells for smaller laser weapons like laser pistols, or larger microfusion cells, found in larger weapons like proper laser rifles. Some of the even bigger ones, like Gatling lasers, use full-on fusion cores. While these cells can technically be recharged, more than likely you're not gonna find any place to get new fusion cells unless you're in the Brotherhood of Steel, or are somewhere near a major settlement like Diamond City or Freeside. And overall, that's kind of it for laser weapons. We don't really know a whole lot else about them. Their internals really aren't that well known, and no other technology really stands out about them. However, that doesn't mean that I don't love them. I really do. They're my personal favorite weapon in all of Fallout. Though, I'd suggest sticking with the pre-war versions, as newer versions, such as the Institute laser weapons, are just not good. But in any case, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching everyone, and as always, this is Nerd Trooper, signing off.